I hope you're getting a handle on how it is uh, that you should go about at least trying to figure out what these guys are saying, summarizing their points. This one might be a little bit easier, and I hope you learned something comparing what you did with what I did, and when you look at the discussion boards online to see what your colleagues, your classmates have done. But let's turn our attention now to the Charles Krauthammer piece. Cold fish, yes, but he won. His assessment, Charles Krauthammer's assessment of the debate. Now you can remember Charles Krauthammer here is the liberal, the left-wing commentator. Kind of interesting story because some of you might be familiar with the man's name. He's a commentator on Fox News. And what's interesting, not that he's on Fox News, but he is no longer a liberal commentator. He is now a conservative commentator. In the 30 years since the Bush election or so, I think it's 30 years that have passed, Mr. Krauthammer has re-examined his positions, and he is now on the other side of the political spectrum. But in this case, he's defending the left-wing position. You might know a little bit about his history. He used to write for the liberal magazine, The New Republic. He still has a column, and all this time he's had a column in the Washington Post. A very interesting man, very bright man. If you've ever seen him on TV, it looks like he can't move from the neck down, and that's the case. He happens to be a medical doctor, a Harvard University trained medical doctor who was, as a result of a car accident, became a paraplegic. While he was in medical school, he became as a result of not being able to use his body, I guess he became a psychiatrist. He's licensed to practice psychiatry, although neither his older commentaries nor his newer political commentaries, at least, are psychiatric evaluations of the candidates nor of anybody else who's taking a position. But what I want you to do, again, is take a look at Krauthammer's position. And once again, I want you to do the same thing that we did last time. And it's going to be the same evaluation points. Write this down. We're going to figure out what the conclusion is. We're going to, having figured out what the conclusion is, remember, and you could start out with a couple and decide it's a little bit different. You are going to summarize the points that he makes, the premises. And ultimately, we're going to take a look and see whether the points that he's making are relevant to supporting the conclusion that he is reaching, the one that you've figured out. So now, keep this view in mind. I'm going to ask you to write your stuff down. I'm going to ask you to post it on the forum, and you might, at that point, take a look at what some of your classmates have to say. Let me just roll back, because as you're working on this, I want to leave you with, and I'm hoping we're getting to the last slide, the previous slide. I want to leave you looking at this slide, because remember, this is ultimately what we are evaluating.